Welcome back to Who Died Today USA channel. In the past few days, we have received somber news about the passing of extraordinary talents. Today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Additionally, we will recap the stars we have recently lost. Before we begin, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you. Today we remember Val Kilmer, an actor whose legendary career captivated audiences for decades. Known for his versatility and dedication to his craft, Val became an icon through his unforgettable performances in Top Gun, The Doors, and Batman Forever. He brought characters to life with a depth and authenticity that few could match, from the cocky Iceman to the tortured Jim Morrison. His roles were not just parts he played, they were expressions of his soul. Yet behind the scenes, Val's journey was marked by a quiet introspection that set him apart from the typical Hollywood star. Away from the spotlight, he sought solace in the remote desert of New Mexico, where he built a treehouse, a place to escape the noise and reflect on life. It was a fitting symbol of his inner world, a sanctuary where he could truly connect with his family and himself. In recent years, Val faced significant health challenges, including a prolonged battle that ultimately led to his passing. He had been diagnosed with throat cancer several years ago, and despite his struggles, his spirit never wavered. His daughter, Mercedes Kilmer, confirmed his passing to the New York Times on April 1st, 2025, marking the end of an era for his fans and peers alike. Val Kilmer's legacy lives on through his films, his artistic pursuits, and the remarkable strength with which he navigated life's challenges. He was more than just a movie star. He was an artist whose work will continue to inspire for generations to come.
Earth angel, the one I adore.
Johnny Tillotson, the legendary voice behind the unforgettable 1960s hit Poetry in Motion, captured the hearts of millions with his smooth vocals and timeless ballads. Known for songs like It Keeps Right on a Hurtin' and Heartaches by the Number, Johnny's music defined an era and made him a beloved figure in the entertainment world. Born in Jacksonville, Florida, Johnny's rise to fame began in the late 1950s, and by 1960, his career was in full bloom. His ability to blend pop, country, and ballad styles made him a versatile artist who earned 2 Grammy nominations and became a household name. Even after the height of his fame, he continued to release new music, including his recent single, Everything I Touch Turns to Blue. Johnny's incredible career and his warm, gentle spirit have left an indelible mark on the music world. He will be missed, but his songs will live on, forever part of the soundtrack of our lives. Johnny faced many challenges in his life, but none as daunting as his battle with Parkinsonism, a condition that affected his ability to live as he once had. Despite these health struggles, Johnny remained an inspiration to those who knew him and his fans, always expressing gratitude for the love and support he received. Johnny's passing on April 1st, 2025, was announced by his wife Nancy, who described him as the sweetest, kindest man she had ever known. His legacy endures through his timeless music, and his memory will continue to live on in the hearts of those who cherished him. Roy Ayers, the legendary vibraphonist, composer, and musical visionary, passed away peacefully on March 4, 2025, in New York City, after facing a prolonged illness. His family shared the news through his official Facebook page, reflecting the deep love and admiration that surrounded him. Born on September 10, 1940 in Los Angeles, California, Roy Ayers was destined for music. At just 5 years old, he caught the attention of jazz icon Lionel Hampton, who gifted young Roy his first pair of vibraphone mallets, a moment that would spark a lifelong journey into sound. Throughout the 1960s, Ayers carved his path in the jazz world, but it was in the 1970s with his band Roy Ayers Ubiquity that he truly redefined musical boundaries. Blending jazz, funk, soul, and rhythm into something uniquely his own, he gave the world timeless classics, none more beloved than Everybody Loves the Sunshine, 1976, a song that became an anthem of warmth, memory, and joy. Its gentle groove and golden tone have inspired generations and continue to be embraced by artists across genres. Roy Ayers was more than a musician. He was a bridge between eras. He collaborated with icons from Fela Kuti to Erykah Badu and was affectionately called the King of Neo-Soul, for good reason. His music lives on in the voices of those he influenced and in the hearts of all who found comfort in his sound. As we remember Roy, we celebrate a life beautifully lived, one that brought light, rhythm, and soul into the world. His melodies will echo for generations to come, just like sunshine after the rain.
Thank you, Mr. PFALC.
Some actors arrive with fanfare. Others, like Bruce Glover, leave a quieter but deeper impression. His journey wasn't about chasing the spotlight, but about shaping characters so distinctive they never left you. Born in Chicago during the Great Depression, Bruce's early years were steeped in resilience. He worked from the age of 6, served in the Korean War, and returned home not to rest, but to build a life in the arts, with nothing but determination and raw talent. His first stage role? Inside a gorilla suit, throwing a dancer across a stage. That same courage would one day carry him into the unforgettable role of Mr. Wint in Diamonds Are Forever, one of the most unique and wickedly charming villains in Bond history. Through 5 decades, Bruce appeared in classics like Chinatown and Perry Mason, taught young actors the craft, and collaborated in his final film with the person who knew him best, his son, Crispin Glover. On March 12, 2025, Bruce's life came to a peaceful close. The news was lovingly shared by Crispin through a collection of photos and memories, a quiet tribute to a man whose presence was anything but. His characters were odd, magnetic, sometimes unsettling, but always unforgettable. Bruce Glover didn't just act. He listened, he taught, and he lived each role with truth. And in doing so, he left behind not just performances but echoes, ones we'll hear for a very long time. David Lynch, the visionary filmmaker behind Mulholland Drive and Twin Peaks, passed away on January 16, 2025, at the age of 78. Known for his surreal, haunting, and emotionally charged storytelling, Lynch built a career that defied convention and inspired generations of artists and dreamers alike. From the disturbing brilliance of Eraserhead to the quiet beauty and mystery of The Elephant Man, Lynch's work consistently challenged audiences to see beyond the surface. With Twin Peaks, he redefined what television could be: strange, poetic, and utterly unforgettable. His films weren't always easy to understand, but that was the point. Lynch invited us into the unknown, and we followed. In the later years of his life, Lynch faced health challenges related to a chronic pulmonary condition, which he spoke about openly in interviews. These struggles eventually limited his ability to direct on set, and his long-anticipated Netflix project, rumored to be titled Wisteria, was quietly shelved. Though fans had hoped for one final masterpiece, it remained a vision unrealized. Lynch's personal life remained largely private, though his devotion to art, meditation, and his 4 children was well known. He continued to paint, compose music, and explore ideas until the very end, proving that creativity, for him, was a lifelong calling. His passing was confirmed by close family and representatives, marking the end of one of cinema's most distinctive voices. David Lynch's legacy is one of courage, mystery, and a deep commitment to truth, however strange, uncomfortable, or beautiful it may be. His work will live on, not just in film history, but in the hearts of those who saw the world differently because of him.
Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. We hope you have enjoyed the show.
Breaking news. Today, we turn our spotlight to one of the most iconic musicians of all time, Sir Paul McCartney. For over 6 decades, his music has been the soundtrack of generations, from stadium anthems to quiet, heartfelt ballads. But beyond the music, Paul's journey is a story of resilience, reinvention, and remarkable vitality, especially as he continues to inspire fans around the world well into his 80s. Born on June 18, 1942, in Liverpool, England, Paul McCartney rose to global stardom as the bass guitarist and co-lead vocalist of the Beatles. Alongside John Lennon, he crafted some of the most beloved songs in music history: Hey Jude, Let It Be, Yesterday, and Blackbird, to name just a few. His musical talent, melodic instincts, and lyrical depth earned him not just fame, but enduring admiration. After the Beatles disbanded in 1970, Paul formed the band Wings with his wife Linda McCartney and continued to top the charts with songs like Live and Let Die and Band on the Run. Despite being one of the most recognized figures in the world, Paul's life has not been without hardship. The loss of his mother at a young age, the breakup of the Beatles, and later, the devastating passing of his beloved wife Linda, were all deeply personal challenges. He also faced professional criticism during the early years of his solo career and endured public scrutiny during his difficult divorce from Heather Mills. Through it all, Paul remained grounded in his love for music and family. What sets Paul McCartney apart is his ability to evolve. Rather than rest on the laurels of Beatles' glory, he has consistently pushed his artistry into new territory. From classical compositions to electronic collaborations, Paul has proven time and again that his creativity knows no bounds. In recent years, he has even worked with younger artists like Rihanna and Kanye West, bridging generations with effortless grace. Equally inspiring is Paul's commitment to his health and wellness. At the age of 82, he maintains an active lifestyle that continues to surprise and inspire fans. He attributes his vitality to a vegetarian diet, daily exercise, and even eye yoga, a technique he picked up during a visit to India in the 1990s. His wellness routine includes headstands, stretching, and regular cardio. In interviews, Paul often jokes about his favorite part of exercising, the headstand, which he can still hold at his age. Paul has also been a vocal advocate for mindful living. Alongside his late wife Linda, he helped bring vegetarianism into the mainstream and launched the Meat-Free Monday campaign to promote sustainability and healthier choices. Linda's vegetarian food brand, founded in the early 1990s, remains a staple in the UK and beyond. Together, they created a lifestyle grounded in compassion, music, and nature, a vision Paul continues to honor today. While Paul's health has largely been steady, he has not been immune to aging and the whispers of concern that follow anyone in the public eye. Rumors about heart procedures or declining health have circulated, but Paul has continued to appear on stage with energy and charm, putting speculation to rest with every performance. He remains sharp, focused, and deeply connected to his art. Of course, no story about Paul McCartney would be complete without addressing the infamous "Paul is dead" conspiracy theory. In the late 1960s, some fans became convinced that Paul had died and been replaced by a look-alike. Clues were supposedly hidden in Beatles' lyrics and album covers. Rather than lash out, Paul embraced the myth with humor. Over the years, he has referenced the theory playfully. turning what could have been a source of frustration into a symbol of his cultural imprint. Throughout his career, Paul has steered clear of major scandals. Even his most public personal challenges, such as his divorce from Heather Mills, were met with dignity. His long-lasting marriage to Linda, and now his partnership with Nancy Shevell, speaks volumes about the importance of family in his life. In a world where fame often erodes privacy and stability, Paul has managed to keep his personal life relatively intact while continuing to create, perform, and grow. What is most remarkable, perhaps, is how Paul McCartney remains both a living legend and a working artist. He continues to tour, write music, publish books, and engage with fans worldwide. In 2025, he released a deeply personal memoir that left readers around the world in tears, offering stories of his youth, his bandmates, his losses, and his undying love for music. The book is already considered essential reading for any lover of modern music. Through changing times and shifting tastes, Paul McCartney has stood as a symbol of endurance. His life reminds us that artistry and integrity can walk hand in hand, and that age is never a reason to stop doing what you love. Whether you first heard him in the 60s or just discovered his music today, his songs speak to the human experience: hope, love, longing, and joy. So, as we celebrate the life and legacy of Sir Paul McCartney, let us also reflect on the man behind the melodies. He is not just a Beatle. He is not just a rock star. He is a father, a friend, a writer, and a tireless seeker of truth through music. What are your favorite memories of Paul's music? Do you have a song that helped you through a hard time, or one that takes you back to a moment of pure happiness? Share it in the comments below. Let us honor the voice that never stopped singing, the heart that never stopped giving, and the spirit that continues to inspire generations. And if his story has touched yours, like this video and subscribe for more timeless tributes to the legends who shaped our lives, one note at a time. Roberta Flack, the beloved voice behind timeless classics like Killing Me Softly with his song and The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face, passed away peacefully on February 24, 2025, at the age of 88. Her family confirmed she was surrounded by loved ones at the time. In 2022, Flack's representatives had shared that she was living with ALS, a condition that gradually limited her ability to sing and speak. Flack rose from humble beginnings in segregated North Carolina, a gifted child who earned a full scholarship to Howard University at just 15 years old. Her musical journey began not in grand concert halls, but in Washington, D.C. nightclubs, where her graceful voice caught the ear of jazz pianist Les McCann, and soon after, the world. Her version of The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face soared after Clint Eastwood featured it in his 1971 film Play Misty for Me, and her interpretation of Killing Me Softly became a cultural touchstone, earning her back-to-back Grammy Awards for Record of the Year, an unprecedented feat at the time. Throughout the 1970s and beyond, Flack's collaborations with artists like Donny Hathaway and Peabo Bryson brought forth soulful duets that defined an era. Her music blended elegance, depth, and honesty, offering a quiet power that resonated across generations. At her Harlem Memorial Service, tributes poured in from legends like Stevie Wonder, Lauryn Hill, Alicia Keys, and Reverend Al Sharpton. More than a singer, Roberta Flack was a storyteller, an educator, and an artist whose voice spoke gently but carried far. Her influence endures, not only in music, but in the hearts she moved with every note.
For when I wanted you, I was so lonely.
In a world where soul music gave voice to love, longing, and resilience, Jerry Butler stood as one of its most enduring storytellers. Known as the Iceman for his calm, elegant delivery, Butler brought warmth and wisdom to every note he sang. He passed away peacefully on February 20th, 2025, at the age of 85, as confirmed by his assistant, after living with Parkinson's disease. From his beginnings in Mississippi to the streets of Chicago's Cabrini Green, Butler's path was shaped by hardship and hope. He first rose to prominence in 1958 with For Your Precious Love as lead singer of The Impressions, a song that marked the dawn of modern soul. His solo career soon followed with hits like He Will Break Your Heart, Moon River, and the iconic Only the Strong Survive, a powerful anthem of endurance. Yet Jerry Butler's legacy reached far beyond music. In 1985, he brought his quiet strength to public service, serving over 3 decades on the Cook County Board of Commissioners. As chair of the Health and Hospitals Committee, he played a key role in expanding healthcare access and modernizing public systems, including the development of Stroger Hospital. A Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee and advocate for artist welfare, Butler never stopped giving back. His 60-year marriage to Annette Smith and his love for family anchored a life of purpose and grace. Jerry Butler lived not only to entertain, but to uplift. His voice, measured, soulful, and deeply human, reminded us that strength can be gentle, and that love in all its forms is always worth singing about.
But, if you talk to me about 50, in this case, I'm going to say...
To many, Irv Gotti was more than a producer. He was a storyteller whose music defined an era. From the moment he blended raw hip-hop beats with smooth R&B hooks, he carved a lane all his own. Whether it was Always on Time, Foolish, or I'm Real, his fingerprints were on the songs that moved generations. Through Murder Inc. Records, the label he co-founded, Gotti launched some of the most enduring voices in modern music: Ashanti, Ja Rule, and countless others. But his success was never simply about charts or fame. Gotti came from Hollis, Queens, a neighborhood rich in culture, but often short on opportunity. He fought for every win. As an A&R at Def Jam in the 90s, he helped discover and nurture talents like DMX and Jay-Z. Even when faced with public scrutiny, legal challenges, and health concerns, he remained committed to the craft. In his later years, he ventured into television, creating Tales, a groundbreaking series that brought hip-hop lyrics to life on screen. On February 5, 2025, Irv Gotti passed away at the age of 54. His family shared the news on social media, surrounded by tributes from friends, fans, and colleagues. While the exact cause was not publicly disclosed, it was known that Gotti had experienced health struggles in recent years, including complications from strokes and diabetes. In a world where trends fade and sounds shift, Irv Gotti's legacy endures, not just in the records he produced, but in the artists he empowered and the culture he helped elevate. His beats may have moved clubs, but his vision moved an industry.
Here.
Dick Button was a man who redefined what figure skating could be, fusing athletic brilliance with timeless elegance. On January 30th, 2025, at the age of 95, the 2-time Olympic gold medalist passed away of natural causes at his home in North Salem, New York. His children, Edward and Emily Button, confirmed the news, and U.S. figure skating honored his extraordinary legacy. In 1948, just 18 years old, Button became the first American man to win Olympic gold in figure skating. That same year, he stunned the world by landing the first ever double axel in competition. 4 years later in Oslo, he raised the bar again, completing the sport's first triple jump and capturing a second gold. Can you imagine mastering those historic jumps without today's technology? outdoors in freezing conditions, guided only by a record player and sheer determination. Following his competitive career, Button graduated from Harvard Law but remained devoted to the sport. For more than 5 decades, he served as a television commentator for CBS, ABC, and NBC, bringing insight, candor, and love for skating to millions of homes. In 1981, he received an Emmy Award for his work, becoming as respected behind the microphone as he was on the ice. What drove him to keep pushing boundaries, not only as an athlete, but as a broadcaster and mentor? Perhaps it was the same passion that made a young boy run around the house with skates bursting from a Christmas box, unable to wait for the ice. Dick Button didn't just win titles, he built a legacy. He skated for history, spoke for the soul of the sport, and in doing so, inspired generations to come.
Raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Actually, I was born in Illinois. My mother and father were on an oleomargarine.
Bob Uecker was more than the voice of a baseball game. He was the heart behind the broadcast, the laughter between innings, and the soul of Milwaukee's baseball story. On January 16, 2025, Uecker passed away peacefully at the age of 89 at his home in Menomonee Falls, Wisconsin. His passing was confirmed by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. He had been living with small-cell lung cancer in the final years of his life. Born in Milwaukee in 1935, Uecker's journey began as a catcher in Major League Baseball, including time with the Braves and the 1964 world champion St. Louis Cardinals. But it was after he left the field that his legacy truly came alive. As the beloved broadcaster for the Milwaukee Brewers for more than 5 decades, he filled airwaves with not only game calls, but unforgettable humor and heartfelt storytelling. Even through serious health challenges, including heart surgeries, a life-threatening spider bite, and cancer, Uecker's spirit never wavered. He continued to show up for fans with the same warmth and wit that made him a fixture in American sports culture. Beyond baseball, he made his mark in Hollywood, starring in Mr. Belvedere, delivering iconic lines in the major league films, and appearing on The Tonight Show over 100 times. For so many, Bob Uecker wasn't just a broadcaster. He was a friend, a voice of comfort on long summer nights, a reminder that sports could be both thrilling and deeply human. His legacy will echo far beyond the stadium. One might ask, how many people can make you laugh, think, and cheer, all in the same inning? Bob Uecker could, and he did.
You are involved in the characters. The characters are family. And
in an industry once dominated by men, Felicia Minet-Bear rose from behind a secretary's desk to become one of the most respected producers in daytime television. When she began her career at CBS in 1960, few could have imagined that she would go on to redefine the genre. With quiet determination and unshakable resolve, she broke barriers, mentored countless talents, and proved that leadership doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. Her journey wasn't without challenge. Felicia navigated a time when few women held creative control in television. Yet her eye for story, her belief in character, and her ability to lead with grace helped her elevate programs and people alike. She didn't just run shows, she nurtured them, along with those who created them. In 1970, she helped launch All My Children and later served as its executive producer from 1989 to 1996. Under her leadership, the show won daytime Emmys in 1992 and 1994. She brought similar vision to Ryan's Hope, As the World Turns, and later, as senior vice president of ABC Daytime, guided staples like General Hospital, One Life to Live, and The View. Felicia passed away on March 2, 2025, at the age of 82, after a 5-year journey with brain cancer. Her daughters, Christina Bear Miller and Francesca Bear, confirmed the news, as reported by Michael Fairman TV. Her legacy endures not only in the stories she shaped, but in the path she carved for others to follow. In a world where producers are often forgotten behind the scenes, Felicia Minay-Bear stood tall, proof that the strongest voices don't always need a spotlight.
To Memphis, Tennessee in 1963, and very early on started working at Stax Records as an intern.
With deep appreciation, we remember Terry Manning, a remarkable recording engineer, producer, musician, and photographer whose work helped shape the very soul of American music. Born in 1947 and raised in El Paso, Texas, Manning began his journey with little more than a guitar and a dream. By the 1960s, he had immersed himself in the Memphis music scene, soon becoming a cornerstone of the legendary Stax Records sound. Manning's fingerprints are found across some of the most influential records in music history. He helped craft unforgettable tracks for the staple singers Isaac Hayes and Sam and Dave. He worked alongside Led Zeppelin on their third album and contributed to the rise of Big Star, a band that would go on to inspire generations of musicians. His later work with ZZ Top, Joe Cocker, Shania Twain, and others continued to showcase his talent for blending sound with feeling. Through the years, Manning also pursued photography, capturing candid moments of icons like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Jimi Hendrix, and Dusty Springfield. His life was a tapestry of creativity, woven with humility and curiosity. Terry Manning passed away on March 25, 2025, at the age of 77, due to a heart aneurysm, as confirmed by his wife, Janet Manning, in a public statement. Until his final days, he remained active in the studio, always seeking new sounds and honoring the roots of his craft. His legacy lives on, in every soulful riff, in every record spun, and in the generations he inspired to create, explore, and listen with heart.
I look around and I go, who else is going to take up the fight? Well, Leah is,
Mike Rinder was a voice for those who felt silenced. A man once at the very top of Scientology's command, he later became one of its most courageous and determined truth-tellers. Born in Adelaide, Australia in 1955, Mike was raised inside the church, joining its elite Sea Org at 18, and eventually leading global media and public relations efforts. For years, he enforced policies he would later come to condemn, until in 2007, he walked away from it all. It was this act of conscience that would shape his true legacy. Partnering with actress and fellow former member Leah Remini, Mike co-hosted the Emmy-winning docuseries Leah Remini, Scientology and the Aftermath, giving a voice to those hurt by the very system he once defended. He followed it with the podcast Scientology, Fair Game, continuing to advocate for justice, healing, and transparency. Mike faced serious health battles in his final years, including esophageal cancer. On January 5, 2025, his wife Christy King Colbrand confirmed his passing, honoring him with these words, "Your courage, bravery, and integrity are unmatched and will forever inspire us. My best friend, my hero, my love, Michael John Rinder." Mike's final wish was clear. If you are in any way fighting to end those abuses, please keep the flag flying. Never give up. His message now lives on, not only in the lives of those he helped free, but in a new generation of activists, filmmakers, and truth seekers who are carrying forward the light he sparked. His life teaches us that redemption is possible, that speaking out matters, and that no system is too powerful to challenge when truth is on your side. In his own words, "My only real regret is not having achieved what I said I wanted to. But if you're reading this, perhaps there's still hope. Keep going."
Just say, I'm the president and I'm going to have a quick coffee. Hey, Daryl, can you open this up for me?
I'm sorry, I can't lie yet.
Breaking news. Jerry Seinfeld, the reluctant legend. Still writing his own script at 70. Where is he now? Jerry Seinfeld never asked to be a symbol. He never courted controversy or chased attention. Yet somehow, through decades of crisp observations, unrelenting discipline, and a refusal to conform to Hollywood's louder trends, he became just that, a reluctant legend. As he approaches his 70th birthday on April 29, 2024, Seinfeld remains an enduring figure in American comedy, continuing to write, perform, and, perhaps most importantly, question everything with the same wry humor that made him a household name. So what makes Jerry Seinfeld still relevant in a world where the rules of comedy and celebrity are constantly shifting? Let us take a closer look at his journey, one filled with success, solitude, and the ongoing pursuit of authenticity. Born in Brooklyn, New York in 1954, Jerry's comedic instincts were evident early. He found his voice not in elaborate punchlines, but in the quiet discomfort of everyday moments, bad dates, awkward silences, the absurdity of life's small frustrations. His stand-up career started humbly in local comedy clubs, with years of trial and error shaping his minimalist, observational style. This tireless commitment to the craft laid the groundwork for what would become one of the most iconic television shows in history. Seinfeld, which aired from 1989 to 1998, did something revolutionary. It made nothing hilarious. With a sharp cast, crisp writing, and Jerry's calm, self-deprecating presence at the center, the show turned the mundane into comedic gold. No other series had tackled the social dance of double-dipping a chip or the strange anxiety of close talkers quite like Seinfeld. The sitcom earned critical acclaim and a loyal fan base that persists to this day. Its influence clear in the DNA of every modern comedy that values clever over crass. But success never spoiled Jerry Seinfeld. After the show ended at its peak, he turned down most offers for major projects. Instead, he returned to the stage, to the simplicity of a microphone, a stool, and a spotlight. It is here where Jerry feels most at home. Over the years, he developed Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, a relaxed, thoughtful series that pairs vintage cars with candid conversations, offering glimpses of humor's beating heart without the bells and whistles. Seinfeld's career has been remarkably free of scandal, but not entirely without controversy. In recent years, he has voiced concerns about the overly sensitive climate in modern comedy, particularly on college campuses. His view that comedians are being boxed in by political correctness drew both support and criticism, but Jerry stood firm. For him, comedy is exploration, not instruction, and every good laugh must come from an honest place. While many comedians bent to the shifting expectations of modern audiences, Jerry maintained his tone, dry, sharp, and quietly defiant. One point of public debate came from earlier in his life, his relationship in the 1990s with Shoshana Lonstein, who was 17 at the time they began dating. The relationship was legal under state laws and received significant media attention. Jerry never addressed it at length, and while it has resurfaced in retrospective discussions, it has not significantly tarnished his public image. In a career defined by discretion, he has consistently kept his private life separate from his public persona. Despite the ever-present spotlight, Seinfeld keeps his life simple. He is not on social media. He avoids the glitz of Hollywood parties. Instead, he maintains a routine, writing jokes daily, reflecting, refining. Known for his meticulous habits, he once shared his "don't break the chain" method, putting a big red X on a calendar for each day he writes. The trick, he says, is never breaking the streak. It is this quiet discipline that has kept him razor-sharp long after many of his peers faded from relevance. Now, as he approaches 70, What does Seinfeld think of aging? In a recent interview on Today, he admitted with typical dryness that he has no interest in the milestone. "I could really live with a lot less stuff," he said. "Things, people, activities. I'm not doing nothing anymore. There will be no party, no spotlight, no elaborate celebration. Just Jerry, some quiet, and a plate of chicken parmesan." But do not mistake that simplicity for stagnation. This year, Seinfeld made his directorial debut with Unfrosted, a Netflix comedy that tells a fictional version of the invention of the Pop-Tart. With a star-studded cast including Melissa McCarthy, Jim Gaffigan, Amy Schumer, and Hugh Grant, the film combines his love of absurdity with sharp social observation. "I'm not really acting anyway," he said. "I'm just me. That's what I did on the TV series. Same guy, other side of the camera." In a world constantly chasing new headlines, Jerry Seinfeld's commitment to being himself, even if that means being out of step with trends, is a quiet rebellion. His health remains strong, his mind focused, and his passion for comedy unshaken. Unlike many stars who reinvent themselves with each new decade, Jerry simply continues being Jerry, and for millions, that is more than enough. So what is next for Seinfeld? He will keep writing, he will keep performing, and most importantly, he will keep asking why we do the things we do, and why that is so funny. As we reflect on his journey, one thing becomes clear. Jerry Seinfeld did not become a legend by trying to be one. He became a legend by never pretending to be anything else. What are your favorite Seinfeld moments? Which jokes still make you laugh out loud? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this journey through Jerry's story, subscribe and stay with us for more timeless tributes to comedy's greatest voices. Thank you for watching.